First, let me say thank you for taking the time to listen and watch this free video report on implementing Scrum. My name is Michael Vizdos. I am a certified Scrum trainer and have been working with Agile teams around the world since September 11, 2001. I have been in the industry for almost 20 years. This is the first of 2 free video reports you are receiving as a bonus for signing up to the Implementing Scrum website as an email subscriber. Thank you. The information in this report is a culmination of a few years of working on the site implementingscrum.com and working with clients. It is the basis for some major changes to the site coming in the near future. This is part 1. If you have any questions or comments about this, please feel free to get a hold of me anytime at mvizdos@gmail.com. Also, if you receive this from a friend, please subscribe to my free email updates at implementingscrum.com/subscribe. Thank you. One of the responsibilities of a Scrum Master on an Agile team is to make sure that people are aware of what I call the rules of engagement. I feel the more people know and understand them, the better your success rate will be when actually implementing Scrum within your organization. The framework of Scrum is extremely simple. In fact, it has been said that Scrum never fails. When I first heard this, I thought it was a pretty bold statement. However, over the years of working with clients around the world, I have found it to be true. You see, Scrum exposes a lot of dysfunctions within your organization, and these have probably always been there, even before Scrum was introduced. The role of a Scrum Master is to make sure that the rules of engagement are followed by all participants using the Scrum framework. And the Scrum Master needs to help prioritize with all of your stakeholders which dysfunctions you want to start addressing first. It is a choice, and it is not easy to do. Understanding and being able to communicate this framework will help set you and your teams up for success. Let's begin. The framework of Scrum can be depicted by some boxes, lines, circles, and diamonds. It's not rocket science, so don't make it that way. The first box we're going to talk about is called the product backlog. This contains all of the stuff the team needs to complete in order to successfully deliver working software to your customers. Not vaporware and not pretty documents. Working software. We'll examine the product backlog more in a bit. The sprint backlog represents all of the work the team is committing to in order to complete a sprint. They get this by pulling off the highest priority items from the product backlog, and thus begins a sprint. So what is a sprint? A sprint is sometimes referred to as an iteration. Scrum talks about a sprint being 30 calendar days in length. In practice, I have seen a lot of teams implementing 2 or 3 week iterations. I recently had a conversation with Ken Schwaber, one of the founders of Scrum, about why we still want to use 30 days as a guideline. As I understood the reasoning, it is mainly due to the time it takes for a risk to either play out, die, or be mitigated. This makes sense. And I'd recommend not getting too hung up on the exact timing of a sprint. Remember, the goal is to present working software to your customers on a regular basis. That is the important thing. And do not let more than a month go by without your customers seeing working software. On a daily basis, the team should get together at a regular place and time for no more than 15 minutes. This short meeting is called a daily scrum or stand-up meeting. The goal of this daily meeting is for the team to communicate key information quickly to one another and to make sure everyone is on the same page. It is for the team. It is not a status report. One of the ways to keep the daily Scrum productive is to have each team member focus on addressing 3 questions. The questions include, what have I done since the last meeting? What am I going to complete before our next meeting? And what are my impediments? That's it. Keep it simple. Remember, your focus is on delivering working software to your customer. The sprint review is where the team gets together with their outside stakeholders and shows what has been accomplished over the past 30 days. At the sprint review, the team shows working software, something that can be put in production today if needed. In order for the team to agree on what potentially shippable software looks like, they must agree on a definition of done. Failing to do so at the beginning of each sprint will probably result in failure for the team. How can you know you are finished without knowing what done looks like? One of the ways to have the team agree on what done looks like is to have a sprint goal. This sprint goal should focus on some key business functionality that your stakeholders require. The sprint goal should deliver real business value. Finally, after the sprint review is complete, the team gets together for what is called a sprint retrospective. This is probably one of the most vital steps for the Scrum team to go through. And it is one that gets skipped a lot, which is extremely unfortunate. A team needs to discuss what they have done well and what they can focus on during the next iteration in order to get better. This is different than the post-mortem of traditional waterfall projects, where you most likely have all gotten together at the end of a long project, did your lessons learned, and then filed them into your change control system, never to be looked at again. And then you went off and repeated the same mistakes on future projects. Scrum helps keep this in focus each iteration so that the team understands what they need to do in order to become the highest performing team in an organization. This brings me to the conclusion of part 1 of this 2-part series. As you can see, in part 2 of the series, I will be talking about the 3 roles in Scrum. There are only 3. And I'll reveal the mystery of the box and 2 diamonds at the top of the screen. Thanks again for subscribing to the Implementing Scrum email list, where you will get the latest cartoons and information about Scrum delivered to you on a regular basis. Part 2 of this installment will be delivered to your inbox sometime tomorrow. Should you need further information, please contact me at mvizdos@gmail.com, or if you receive this from a friend, please sign up for any future updates at implementingscrum.com/subscribe. My name is Michael Vizdos, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you.